Monica Lennon, followed by Stuart Stevenson.
Thank you, Presiding Officer, and I'm grateful to Sandra White for bringing forward this important debate. As we can see, that it's an issue that concerns us all, and I think we all share the anger that we've just felt from George Adam, and the concern about the very serious impact that this is having and will have on the communities that we represent. Several RBS branches in my Central Scotland parliamentary region have already faced closure, including in Hamilton, Larkhall, Airdrie, Bellshill and Steps. And now Stonehouse is facing the closure of its Bank of Scotland branch. And this has happened, again, without full consultation with customers. And is another example of the banks treating loyal customers with contempt. And I'm very concerned about the cumulative impact of all of these closures. Banks are literally profiting from the closures, and customers are paying the price with increased travel costs, with having to go in to visit branches in neighbouring towns or into the cities. People are already experiencing quite a poor customer service and are seeing longer queues and waiting times in the branches that are remaining who are picking up the pieces. Now, the banks are telling us that they're responding to changing customer behaviour, but it looks like a cost-cutting exercise, and communities are losing access to valued local banking services. So I completely reject the idea that there is no demand for local banking services. High Street bank branches are closing at an incredible rate of 60 a month. That's according to Which. And meanwhile, a YouGov poll found that 58% of people and 68% of small business customers said that a bank branch is important to them. And I think Sandra White's constituent made some of those points very well. So bank branch closures, they're not just a mere inconvenience. I think all of us would agree that it's some of the most vulnerable people in society that are going to be hit the hardest. Sandra White again talked about the impact on older people, people with disability and mobility issues. And Age Scotland highlighted that a substantial proportion of older people in Scotland are not connected to the internet, and that number increases with age. 1/5 of UK households are now more than 3 kilometres from their nearest branch. Again, that is according to Which. So longer journeys are concerning for people with mobility issues, and the additional travel costs will affect the poorest who simply don't have the spare cash to get a bus to the bank or even a taxi if the bus services are not there and reliable. And others have talked about the importance of local businesses being able to access banking. These businesses are the backbone of our economy and will be damaged by these changes. Of course, bank branch closures means there's an increasing reliance on ATMs, but free cash points are also disappearing from our high streets, and in place are ATMs which charge their customers. So to go back to Stonehouse, it's losing its Bank of Scotland branch, and 2 out of the 5 available ATMs in the area at the moment do charge the customer. So there's a real risk of financial exclusion for vulnerable people, and it can't continue. Communities need greater protection against these banking and ATM deserts. And no one should have to worry about having to travel 3 kilometres to access a bank or pay to access their own money. This is why Scottish Labour have called for mandatory consultations on bank branch closures. And my Labour colleague, Jed Killen, who's the MP for Rutherglen and Hamilton West, has been leading the way in Westminster with his proposals on a ban of ATM charges. So we're serious about these issues. Again, in closing, I just want to thank Sandra White for giving us the opportunity to discuss this briefly tonight. We can't abandon communities by leaving them without the basic banking infrastructure that they need. Banks have a responsibility to meaningfully consult with customers, but there's also a real and pressing need for government intervention at a UK level. Labour in Westminster and here in Holyrood will continue to condemn and oppose these bank branch closures and ATMs, and we welcome the opportunity to work cross-party to stand up for our communities on this issue.